Hello and welcome to this second look exploring session, our return journey to a new interlude of Impatient Poverty, printed in 1560, but dated from somewhere in the reign of Queen Mary. It is a long time since we did our first look at this. It was almost a different universe. Some of us were there, but most of us weren't. And as opposed to the first look where we stop and start and discuss what we're doing, with the second look we're going to run it at pace to see what comes out of it. And if we have the opportunity, we will return to it again with more of a Zoom performance aesthetic. So we're taking on board now things we might need to do with this for performance further down the road, to discuss, perform, read, and generally get to the end of the text in an orderly fashion. Today, reading Impatient Poverty, as well as the other names of the same character, is
Liza Graham, here in London for your amusement.
Reading Envy is...
Hi, I'm Eric, and I'm not sure how new this interlude is.
It was new then, but it's not new now. Yes, when 400 odd years have passed, I think we can safely say, it's had its edges taken off. Reading Abundance today is
Desna from Lancaster.
Reading Misrule is
Typecast again. It's Angela, London.
Reading Peace, Colhazard and Conscience is...
Hi, I'm Greg, and interesting selection of parts.
And reading The Sumner is...
It's Tom from Brighton.
And I'm your host, Robert Crighton. I will be reading nothing. I am going to be, you'll be able to watch intermittently my face as I try to just adjust the text. But otherwise, I'm not here. I might disappear. I don't know. But all that remains now is to let the play begin. Begin at the beginning, continue to the end, and then stop, and then we may do some discussion. So, without further ado, the play begins, and the person who begins it is Peace.
Puissant prince and innocent most pure, which humbly descended from the seat sempiternal, illumine his beams of grace to every creature. To withstand the conflict of our enemies mortal, the devil, the world, and the flesh, those three in special, which setteth division between the soul and the body. In likewise, envy setteth debate between party and party. I speak for this cause. Daily may see how that by envy and malice many be destroyed, which if they had lived in peace with patient humility, riches and prosperity with them had been employed. For thereas is peace, no man is annoyed, for by peace men grow to great richess, and by peace men live in great quietness. I am named Peace, which envy doth expel. Envy with me shall never rest, for envy is one of the pains of hell. When that he sojourneth within a man's breast, like the burning phoenix in her own nest, though she can none other hurt ne grieve, yet she doth not cease herself to mischieve.
Sir, here was a long predication. We thought ye said in your communication to every man peace was most behoved.
Sooth, and so said I.
That shall be proved contrary by and by, for by peace much people are undone.
What people are those?
The armor, the veteran, the boar, the mariners, gunners, and the poor soldier. Yea, and also many other artificer which I do not rehearse by name.
I say the universal people doth best obtain, whereas peace is ever abiding.
Thou liest, so God help me and how them, for then were surgeons clean undone. Of them that will fight and break a faith, they get good living, both early and late. And what sayest thou by men of law? Their living were not worth a straw, and every man should live in peace.
That is not for the commons' increase. For by peace they profit in many a thing. Peace setteth amity between a king and king. In time of peace, merchants have their course to pass and repass.
Liest knave, by the mass, for under colour of peace much subtlety hath been wrought, and ships are taken the merchants dear have bought. Was that for their promotion? Nay, in time of war, such a knave durst not stir. By the mass, were it not for shame, thou shouldst spare me a blow.
Hold thy hands, thou lewd fellow. Thou art of evil disposition, thus against peace to repung, the which from heaven descended down to bring man out of captivity.
Ah, Whoreson, why dost thou lie? When wert thou in heaven? Tell me by and by. Well, how camest thou down? With a ladder or a rope?
It were no sin to hang thee by throat. Thy words be envious, not grounded on charity.
Sir, one thing, I pray you tell me.
What is that?
Have ye any wife, or no?
Wherefore ask ye so?
Because ye say peace is most expedient. If your wife made you cuckold, you being present, what would ye do?
Give her such punishment as longeth thereto.
False flattering Whoreson low. Now thou sayest that against thine own declaration. If thou fight, where is peace become?
I break not peace with doing due correction, for correction should be done charitably, et ascamene et politae peccare. I
shall meet that at omnium quare. Peace should forgive and not be revenged. Hence, Whoreson, by our Lady of Walpit, I shall rap thee on the pate.
Oh, go hence, wretch! Now make bait. It were arms to set thee in Newgate. Oh, Master Constable, come near. It is a wretch without reason. Take him and put him in prison, with as many irons as he may bear.
By Our Lady, I will come no nearer. Constable quota. Nay, that I will not abide, for I am loath to go shorter tide. Yet, long Whoreson, for all thy pride, I shall meet with thee another day, when one of us two shall go a naval way.
Oh, thou wretch, thou art to reward that so far art exiled from charity. Lo, he thinketh not how meekly his maker and lord suffered reprieve, and died upon a tree, giving us example that with humility every man should follow his trace, that in heaven will claim a place.
Keep, for God's sake.
What? Why art thou so out of patience?
The knave would have arrested me. I owe him but 40 pence. He shall abide by God's dear blessed.
Take heed, my friend. Thus saith the text, in little meddling standeth great rest, therefore pay thy duty well and honestly, with few words, discreetly. Another time you shall be the better trust.
That will I never do while I live. Let him do his best. I had liever lay all my good to pledge to get a writ of privilege, so I may go by his nose at large, spite of his teeth, whoever say nay.
This is but a wilful mind. If thou wilt not pay thy very duty, which cannot be denied, getting of thy writ an expense in the law will cost more than thy duty. This well I know. Thy debt therewith cannot be paid. It is only a deferring of the payment.
Yet the knave shall not have his intent.
Thou shalt pay by rightful judgment, for the law is indifferent to every person.
I see thou hold'st on his opinion. Yet I set not by you both a wish, and I meet the knave, I shall hew his flesh. Help him, thou old churl, an thou can.
Oh, I see thou art an evil-disposed man. I utterly forsake thy condition.
Marry, avaunt! Long precious Whoreson, I set not by thee nor him, I make God a vow. I'm as good a man as you, for all thy good. Let it be tried by manhood, and thereto I give thee my glove.
All such warriors I do reprove. For peace loveth not to fight.
No, old fool, thou hast lost thy might, for in age is naught but cowardice.
Oh, use with his courage light, nor strength with multitude, I do thee plight, are not only the cause of victory.
No, good sir? What then?
Grace and good governance of men. For with good discretion they begin, that were the great winners of victory.
Then victory is gotten by discretion? I pray you, sir, show me this lesson, how to come to riches, for that is all my care. For I am ever in great necessity. Meat and drink with me is scarcity. No man will trust me of a penny, and also my clothes are but bare. Good sir, what say you therein?
I hold it punishment for thy sin. Show me what is thy name.
I am named Impatient Poverty.
Oh, forsooth. That may full well be. Thou art so full of wrath and envy, in thee can grow no grace. But if thou wilt forsake sensuality, and be governed by reason as I shall induce thee, thou shalt come to riches within short space.
Oh, show me that now in this place, and thereto I will agree.
Oh, thou must love thy neighbour with charity. Do unto him no manner of disease. Look how thou would he did to thee. Do to him no worse in no degree, and then thou shalt our Lord please.
Shall I love him that loveth not me? Those that trouble and rebuke me shamefully, that will I never do while I live.
Oh, thou must charitably all faults forgive, whatsoever any man to thee say, let us thou heard it not. Turn thine ear away. Thou shalt please God if thou so do.
Nay, by God, there ho! What is he in all this place that will do as this man said? Show me, or I go. If a man do you a great offense, will ye keep your patience? Nay, by God, not so. I put case, I break your head. Will ye suffer that in very deed?
To suffer for Christ's sake I shall have meed.
That shall I know by God's bread.
Hold thy hand and keep patience. Think what Christ suffered for our offence. He was beaten, scourged, and spit on with violence, and suffered death for our sake. Yet he took it patiently. He forgave his death and prayed for his enemies. Pater dimite illis, his saying was. Truly an example for us to take, to be meek in heart. Beate popores spiritu, shall Christ say full even. Et venite benedicte, come my blessed children to the kingdom of heaven. You're a beaut.
Sir, I thank you for your ghostly instruction. Unto your saying I can make no delayance, I put me under your governation, and for my ill deeds I make great repentance.
Then to my saying take good remembrance. Exercise yourself in virtue from this time hence, and unto peace evermore. Be obedient. Set before every sharp word a shield of sufferance. And when time is of your concupiscence, then pacify it with benign resistance.
Sir, gramercy that ye have brought me to this estate. By your advertisement I am willing to live in Christ's law. Thereas I have offended him both early and late, I served him not for love nor for awe. Therefore right well now I know that poverty and misery that I my life in led, it is but only punishment for my misdeed.
Now, or we any further proceed, hold this vesture and put it on thee. From henceforth, thou shalt be called Prosperity.
I thank God and you. I am in felicity.
Now, unto you I shall here show of things such as ye shall eschew. First, your soul look that ye keep clean. Beware of misrule in any wise. Play not at cales, cards, nor dice. Also for miswomen, for by their mischief may rise, as it doth often. This daily is seen. Haunt no taverns, nor sit up late. Let not hazard nor rioter with you be checkmate. For then will envy come and make debate, the which shall cause great trouble. Be plentiful of such as God hath sent. Unto the poor people give with good intent. For every penny that is so is spent, God will send thee double. Take heed and do as I have said.
Sir, therewith I hold me well apaid. As you have commanded me, it shall be done.
Then let us depart for a season. If ye need, I will be your protection.
Joy and solace be in this hall. Is there no man here that knoweth me at all? I am beloved both with great and small. Abundance is my name. I have all things as me list. Meat, drink, and cloth of the best. Gold and silver full is every chest. In faith, I will not lame. I think ye know not my ways, how I get goods nowadays, by a proper mean. Think you that I would lend either silver or gold? That day shall not be seen. But I will lend them ware that shall be both bad and dear. Not worth the money he shall pay, and if he can no surety get, of my ware he getteth right naught, without a good pledge he lay. Then will I for mine avail, he shall make a bill of sale, to me full bought and sold. If the day be expired and past, then will I hold it fast, he shall not have it though he would. Thus, craft I have long used, and some men do not yet refuse it. This be openly known. What is he in all this town that will lend without singular commodum? Should I lend without a profit? Nay, then I hold naught worth my wit.
All this, ye say, is against conscience.
Conscience, quodda? Nay, then we shall never thrive. For I know him not alive, by conscience that cometh to substance. I have all manner of marchandy. I sell for long days to them that are needy. And for the payment I have good surety bound in statute marchant. Because I may forbear, I sell my ware so dear. I make 40 of 20 in half a year. Other men do as well as I.
Even sign, very shame. Marry, fie. These goods are gotten untruly, many a man is undone thereby to take this ware so dear.
They seek to me both far and near. Methink it is a good deed to help a man at his need. Yet I have other means whereby I get great gains. I think ye not know that.
Aye? No, God, what?
No, ye are but an idiot. I sold a man as much ware as came to £40, and in an obligation I had him bound to pay me at a certain day, and when the bargain was made plain, mine own servant bought the same ware again for the third penny it cost. Ye want what I mean? But what was not this a wise way?
Thou shalt repent it another day. I charge thee as far as I may, such false ways never begin.
Wherefore? This is no sin. It is plain buying and selling. Lawful it is for a man to win, else rich he shall never be.
Winning to be had with due sufficence, in true buying and selling is not to discommend. But for thy false usury, thou art cursed in the sentence. I pray God give thee grace for to amend.
Is every man accursed that doth buy and sell? Then shall no man with merchandise mail. How shall the world then be uphold?
Nay, sir, 'tis amiss to do you... Sorry. Nay, sir, amiss you do understand me. All those that occupy false usury and transgresseth the laws of God by iniquity, all such are accursed, are you told. As for buying and selling needs must be, and God commandeth to lend to them that are needy. So be it not their injury, for lucre to them sold.
How should I sell? Show me your ways.
Ye may not sell the dearer for days. If ye do, it is contrary to God's laws.
It is used in our country.
It is the more pity. One such is able to destroy a city and show him not his great mercy, or such are damned by his equity.
God forfend that should be. How shall men do that be of great reputation, which kept their goods on this same fashion, by usury, deceit, and by extortion? I do so myself. Wherefore should I lie?
Thou mayest be the more sorry.
It is so now. What remedy?
To make restitution.
What call ye restitution?
Restore such goods as ye have gotten wrongfully by oppression.
Then I shall have little in my possession. I will make God amends another way. I will fast, and I will pray, and I will give alms every day. That I have done amiss, I am sorry therefore.
This is not sufficient. Thou must restore. Quia non dimitter precatum, nisi restitator ablatum. Ye must restore to them ye have offended unto.
Then I shall show you what I shall do. I will put it in my testament that my executors shall pay and content. For while I live, I will not have my goods spent, for if I do, I am but spilt.
Make amends, man, for thy guilt. Rather spoil thy body than spoil thy soul.
Men of substance are ashamed to fall.
That causeth them to rest in their sin.
Yet ever with thy strongest part renneth the ball.
Yesterday thou canst not again call when thou art dead. The gate of mercy is shut. You cannot come in.
Then let him stand without.
So of thy soul thou hast no doubt.
When thou seest my soul torn, set on a clout, if falsehood, usury, and extortion should not rout, thousands in this realm should be put out. The third part should not bide by St. Paul.
Yet often falsehood have a great fall. An example. By King Achab, which is sooth, desired the vineyard that poor man Naboth, by counsel of Jezebel, that king's wife. Because he would not sell his possession of two false witnesses, he was impeached of high treason. And through the mouth of a false quest it rave, which caused the poor man to lose both land and life. After that, of God's own bidding, came Helias, the prophet, to Achab, the king, saying he should have evil ending, and so he had. For by the way as he rode, he fell and brake his neck, where God's dogs lapped his blood. This example to all usurers and oppressors, as thinketh me, should cause them of God's sore dread to be.
Sir, ye preach very holily, but our deeds be often contrary. Ye be so acquainted with covetise and simony that maketh us to take the same way.
So every evil-disposed person doth say, the frailty of man doth often offend, then call for grace and shortly amend. Therefore I counsel thee to pretend, to repent, and be sorry for thy misdeed.
Yet thus I will my life lead, for of your saying, I take no heed. Ye will mucker up both gold and treasure. Ye have riches without measure, and of the flesh ye have your pleasure. Ye can find no ways to amend yourself, I you ensure. Therefore rebuke me not for my sin ne good. God be with you. You shall not rule me.
Oh, dull wit, plunged by ignorance, regarding nothing of ghostly instruction, setting more his mind on worldly substance than on the everlasting life that is to come. God will strike when he list. You know not how soon. Therefore, to every man this counsel I give, to be sorry for your sin and do penance while ye live.
Now, in faith, I wish you had be there.
Where should I have be?
A better sport you never see.
Whereat laugh ye so fast?
He should go, and she after, and within a while he caught her. He took of her an inkroke and chopped her on the heel with his foot, and anon he whipped her on the back. Ah, whoreson, quoth she, please thou me that. And with her heel she gave him a spat, that he was fain to go back again.
Oh, good fellow, thou art to blame, such words to have no good thou can.
I said that to make you sport and game. I cry you mercy, I was to blame. I see you are some virtuous man.
Shortly hence that way thou came, for here thou shalt not be.
Good Lord, some succor thou send me, for that I be not outcast.
What is thy name? Shortly show me.
I dare not, sir, by Christ Jesus, except ye keep it privily.
Fear not, say heartily.
Sir, my right name is Charity. Sometime beloved I was with the spirituality, but now covetizing so many doth them so advance that good institution is turned to other ordinance, and bonum exemplum is put to such hindrance that here I dare not appear.
Simony is not now in the spirituality. Bonus pastor ovium, therefore, that you will see. Therefore, methinks this is a lie. In the holy church, simony cannot abide.
He goeth in a cloak. He cannot be espied, and covetous so craftily doth provide that bonus pastor ovium is blind and will not see.
This that ye speak is upon envy. Therefore I think ye be not charity, for charity always will say the best.
Amongst them I can have no rest.
How doth ye with a temporality?
There is pride, sloth, lechery, which pursueth me from that place.
Then ye be with the commonality.
They despise me utterly. One of them love not the other. The sister cannot love the brother, nor the child the father, nay mother, nay there I dare not show my face.
This to me a strange case. What hear ye by conscience?
Spiritual and temporal set against him, marvelously. Merchants, men of law, and artificers of every degree, they will hang him and lay him a spy. Such exclamation goes through this realm round.
Why, what fault have they found with him so to do?
His wit is naught, they say. Also, every man putteth his will there too, to banish him forever.
I know well it is not as ye say, for I am conscience, the high judge of the law.
Be ye conscience the last that ever this day I saw. If ye be taken, ye shall be hanged and draw, for they have utterly put you down and set covetizing your room, subtlety the scribe, his own cousin, and falsehood the Sumner, for the court's promotion.
I marvel wherefore this was done.
When riches came before you, that much will pay. There had he lived in sin many a day. Ye should for money let him go quit away and put him to no shame. Let poverty do penance for little offence. He's not to promote you of 20 pence. Then should ye have kept your residence and gotten yourself a good name.
Whoso doeth they are to blame in misordering them in such wise.
His cousin, I show you now is the guise for covetise much people did doth a prize, which is against both you and me.
Charity, I pray you show what remedy in this matter for me may be found.
Shortly get you to wilderness or some other region, for they will hang you up at the Tarborn if they find you in this place, and I must depart also.
It is to me much sorrow and woe. I will go into some far country. Farewell, gentle cousin Charity.
I do pray for you. Pray for me. This is a heavy departing. I can in no wise forbear weeping. Yet kiss me, or say ye go, for sorrow my heart will break in two. Is he gone? Then have it laughing. Ah, sir, is not this a jolly game that conscience doth know not my name? In faith, I am the same. What needeth me for to lie? I hate conscience, peace, love, and rest. Debate and strife, that's love I the best. According to my property, when a man loveth well his wife, I bring them debate and strife. This is seen daily. Also between sister and brother, there shall no neighbor love another, where I dwell by. And now I tell you plain, of one man I have disdain. Prosperity men do him call. He is nigh of my blood, and he to have so much worldly good that grieveth me worst of all.
Jesus, that is both steadfast and stable, ever perseverant and never mutable, he save this congregation.
Welcome, poverty, by God, cock's passion. How have ye done this many a day?
I thank God as well as any may. Ye call me wrong. My name is Prosperity.
Prosperity with an evil hap. How the devil fortune is that? I knew the impatient poverty.
Whatsoever I was, let that matter pass, and take me as I am.
I cry you mercy. I was to blame to call you by your old name. Yet these people think ye are the same impatient poverty as I said before.
Avaunt, I tell thee, I am a gentleman boor. If I hear thee report such words any more, thou shalt be punished like a knave.
A knave, quota, by cock's passion. I am your own cousin, and nigh of your consanguinity.
Thou and I are not of one affinity.
If I were a rich man, you would not so say to me. You would then say, I were your next kinsman on live.
I say, go hence, and make no more strife. I set naught by such a poor hascard.
Sir, do not ye know my name?
I know thee not by St. Jane.
Charity of faith, I am the same. What needeth me for to lie? I am your cousin, and so will I die. Ye may be glad such a kinsman to have.
Shall we have more ado yet, thou knave? I charge thee, never know me for your kin.
I pray you one word, or I go.
Say on, shortly. Then
Sir,
have I do.
Sir, I have of gold 300 pound in a bag fast I bound, at home locked in my chest. I purpose go to Jerusalem. Ye shall keep it till I come again. I put you best in trust.
Cousin, I would fain do the best, because ye are near of my blood.
What, are ye now in that mood? Now I am your kinsman because of my good. Before, of me he had disdain.
As for that, I was to blame. I knew you not. Be not angry. You're welcome to me, cousin Charity.
all these matters let be. I come hither with you to dwell. You must have more servants, I do you tell, such as were necessary for your purse.
I'm content after your provision, and everything let it be done as ye think most expedient.
Sir, I shall do mine intent to get you servants more.
I pray you heartily it may be so. A little season I will from you go, to solace me with some recreation.
He that sitteth above the moon evermore in your protection. You're a sport for a lord, and Prosperity and I be well at accord. I shall bring his thrift under the board, I trust, within short space, for it grieveth my heart right sore. He hath so much treasure in store, and I have never the more. I must find some proper shift that from his good he may be lift. To bring him to Misrule I hold him best, for he can soon bring it to pass.
La 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 la.
How, what Russington have we here? I would he were some judge, because he can so well sing.
Venir avec vous, gentils compagnons, faites bonne chère pour la mort de Saint Jean. Mon cœur jocund is set on a merry pin. By my troth, I am disposed to revelling.
So methinketh by your coming in, what Misrule, where hast thou been many years?
By my troth, even amongst my peers, I came now straight from the stews, from little pretty Joan. Lord, she is a pretty one.
Hold thy peace, let that alone. Hark, a word or twain to thee. I dwell now with prosperity, which have much worldly treasure, if thou can contrive in thy thought how that he may be brought to naught in all this world. I desire no more.
Tush! Take no thought, therefore. I can provide for that in the best wise.
Then let me hear thy device.
I will bring him to clash, cards, and dice, and to proper trulls that be wanton and nice, which will not be kept with a small price. How thinkest thou, will not this do well?
Yeah, but hearken in counsel, thou must change thy name.
I will say I hight Mirth.
And I will say the same. Peace, waste. I see him come.
God save all this honourable company.
Sir, you be welcome by our blessed lady. I have thought for you so long. Here is a gentleman. I pray you, for my sake, say he's welcome, and into your service him take. For great courtesy he can.
Sir, you be welcome. Give me your hand, and show me, what is your name?
Sir, my name is Mirth, beloved with lords and ladies of birth. At every triumph I am them with, they can me not once forbear.
And ye had sought this 1,000 years, such another ye shall not find. Wherefore I counsel you, in my mind, let him dwell with you for 1 year.
At your request I am content. Such a pretty man were for me expedient, and of his counsel fain would I hear.
You must sing and dance and make good cheer. I would ye had some proper wench that were young and lusty. At a pinch her heel were not so broad as an inch. She would quicken your courage.
Peace hath forbid all that outrage.
He would set you at dotage because he is old and nature is past. He would now every man should fast. If ye do, so ye do, but waste, then unto you no meed.
A straw for him! Ye have no need of him to stand in awe or dread. A merrier life now ye may lead. Therefore be at your own liberty.
By my troth, I may say to thee, sith I to him did assent, had I never merry day, but lived in fear and dread alway, nothing to mine intent. Another while I will me sport, sing and dance to my comfort.
And among merry company do resort, for that shall lengthen your life.
Spare neither maid nor wife. Take both and they come in your way.
Off with this lewd array, it becometh you naught by this day.
By my troth, even as ye say. Yea, marry, now am I well apaid. Oh, methinketh I am properly arrayed. If I had a proper trull, she should be assayed in the worship of the new year.
Brush up, mutton, for we this deer have, and revel and chance.
Now let us both sing and dance. Will ye have a French round?
And thou shalt see me bounce above the ground. Hey, with revel dash.
What prosperity is it come here to?
What devil of hell hast thou to do? Shall I not make merry when me list?
Yet I say, beware of had I wist.
Hence, ye knave, or else thou shalt lick my fist. I trow thy head would have some knocks.
Go, set him in a pair of stocks, that I him no more see.
Yet, man, I say, remember thee, and think what I to thee have said. Eschew evermore these rioters' company, and be ruled by reason, as I thee bade. But from these two persons by whom thou art laid, envy and misrule, with their sinful and great abusion, which if thou wilt not forsake, would be thy confusion.
Avaunt, Laurel, and take this for a conclusion. Those men from me thou shalt not separate. Go out of my sight, or by cock's passion I shall lay thee fast in Newgate.
It is better to forsake them betime than too late.
This knave would have a broken pate. Let me alone, by God's bread. This same sword shall strike off his head.
I pray you hence, that he were rid, shortly have him out of my sight.
A little while give me respite, and take heed what I do say. Remember in what condition thou was when I first met thee in this place, full simple in poor array. Now by the grace of God and counsel of me, thou art come to great prosperity, and so mayst continue until thou die, if thou wisely take heed. Let not sensuality lead the bridle, be occupied in virtue, and be not idle. The better shalt thou proceed. These wretches will thy goods spend and waste, then shalt thou be taken for an outcast, and mocked and scorned with most and least. Then will no man thee help at need.
Ah, sir, evil mote thou speed that can so read his destiny.
Will ye suffer this knave in your company? Then God be with you, I will forsake you.
Go hence, or in faith I shall make you.
And to almighty God I betake you.
Let me come to that brother. I shall thrust him through the arse with my dagger. This is not a good face to drive a knave out of the place.
Thou have made him run of pace. Thou looked as if he had been mad.
No, by my troth, my heart is glad. Some minstrel now I would we had to revel and dance by St. Chat. I'm so light, methink I flee.
Yea, marry, and so should it be, for now I hold you wise.
Sir, and ye will do mine advice. Let us go straight to the Fleur de Lis, where thou shalt find a man will play at dice with you for £100.
Oh, what man is he?
Colhazard came late from beyond the sea, ragged and torn, in a guarded coat, and in his purse never a groat. And now he goeth like a lord.
I pray thee tell me at one word, is he a gentleman bore?
Tush, take no thought therefore, for be he gentleman, knave, or boy, did we come hither with trifle or a toy, he can no money lack.
Now, by the bread that God break, I think I long till I him see. Mirth, go before and ordain a good dish, one of flesh and another of fish.
Nay, let all be flesh, a young pullet, tender and nesh, that never came on broach. Have with thee, or thou go.
What shall I have?
4 quarters of a knave, roasted upon a spit.
Now, by my troth, if Colhazard will sit, I will play as long as £100 will last.
And you will play £100 at the cost, he will keep you play.
Then let us go our way. I sit on thorns till I come there.
That shall make you a thriftful bear.
What will it do?
I say we shall have good cheer when we come there.
Oh!
When Phoebus draweth into the occidental and obscured with clouds, misty and dark, then trees, herbs, and grass by course natural want their chief comfort. Thus saith many a clerk, and likewise that a man in his walk, in destitute of reason, following sensual operation. The last time I was in this place, prosperity unto Misrule put his whole confidence. He regarded not my counsel. He lacked grace, which in time coming shall turn him to inconvenience. With hazarders and rioters he keepeth residence, a clash and cards with all unthrifty game, which in continuance shall bring him shame. To him yet I will resort, if he be brought in poverty. I shall do him all the comfort and all the help that lieth in me. I will never rest till I him see, but seek about from place to place, and bring him to some better grace.
Colhazard! Art thou there, horse and knave? Wilt thou no appear? By my troth, I had went to have found him here. I hold him gone some other way. And where is envy? I cannot him espy. I trow he's with prosperity. Envy?
Oh, I think that's still you.
Oh, is it me? God, sorry. Whoops. And where is envy? I cannot him espy. I trow he is with prosperity. Prosperity? Nay, I may call him foolish poverty, as wise as a drake. I have brought him to dice, cards, and clash, and ever on his side ran the loss, that he is not worth a handful of moss, neither hath not a whole brat to his back.
Passion of God, has it come to that? These tidings maketh my heart glad.
In faith, he has neither gold, silver, nor plate. Colhazard and I be both at one. He promised me to have half the game, that everything should be divided in twain, he to have the one half, and I the other.
Then let us be partners as brother and brother.
I cannot say till Colhazard come, then shall we know both all and some.
Here is a bag of gold so round, herein is 2,000 pound. Of prosperity, me it won. What man is able to make me make comparison? Now shall I take a merchant's place to occupy? I trust within short space to be in credence with Englishmen. When I am so well betrust, I may borrow so much as me lust. The subtle craft then must find I must to convey and to colour like freemen.
Hark this knave, so proud and stout, and not to his arse a whole clout when he came to this land, and now hath brought about to compare with the state.
Now must I have half money and half plate?
Nay, by God, there thou spake too late. None thereof from me shall escape, then had I lived too long.
Thou promised me when thou began half thy winning I should have.
Oh, hold thy pace, loud knave. Knowest thou to whom thou dost speak?
A whoreson, thy head shall I break.
For the passion of God, sober your mood. I feel the shedding of knave's blood.
Oh, Jesu, what may this mean? My goods are spent and wasted away. Also, my men are from me clean. I see them not this 7 nights' day. As long as I might spend and pay, they held me up with false dissimulation. Now they forsake me in my most tribulation.
Come for cock's bones. Why tarry ye so long?
I' faith, I come as fast as I can. Oh, I am so angry, I wot not what to do, that yonder's knave 'scaped from me so.
What knave is this? I hold him some spy.
I am your master. Know ye not me?
Thou art come late out of Marshalsea.
You think his hair groweth through his hood?
Alas, Colhazard hath won all my good and left me never a groat.
Marry, so methink ye have changed your coat, but now ye have one vantage.
What is that?
Your executors shall not strive for your goods another day, nor thieves shall not rob you going by the way. Thus ye shall stand out of doubt.
Hence, ragged knave, or thou shalt bear me a clout. His clothes smell all of the smoke.
Now by St. Hugh, that holy bishop, this matter is well brought to pass. Now he's a knave as he was. First a knave, then a man, then now he's a knave again.
Why say ye so? Ye be to blame. I am your master, Prosperity.
Avaunt, Laurel, and evil to thee. Get thee out of this company. Beginnest thou now to make comparison?
Let him be your underpage. Give him meat and drink, but no wage. Go, brush his ground and make clean his shoe.
Well, knave, canst thou no courtesy?
He hath such a disease in his knee, he cannot chance a main groat. It is not as he ween.
Come and see my shoon mane clean.
By my faith, he shall wipe mine.
This knave is not meet for me. It grieveth my heart when I him see. I will go hence and leave ye twain. For envy thou mayest with poverty reign.
Nay, I had liever he were slain. I'm as soon gone as ye.
Abide still with me, gentle Charity. Oh, to whom should I sue? To whom should I plead? Oh, mortal worm, wrapped all in woe, the man all mortified and mazed in my wit, I a captive in captivity low. Fortune is my foe. I'm in endless sorrow. Alas, what shall I do? These caitiffs, through their counsel and false imagination, have brought me to naught that was of great reputation. Woe worth the time that I them knew. I may well sigh and say, alas, for now I find these words full true, that peace showed me here in this place. I regarded not his counsel, I lacked grace. Wherefore needy poverty on me doth blow his horn, that every man and woman doth laugh me to scorn. Example to all young men, when they take in hand to occupy in the world for your behoof, look wisely before. And also understand, evil company destroyeth man. On me you see the proof. Make a sure foundation, or ye set up the roof. Of a good, virtuous beginning cometh a good ending. Evermore beware of unmensurable spending.
I assign you in our court to appear.
Pray you, tell me wherefore.
Ye be great slanderer, and full of envy.
There will no man say so but ye.
What? Wilt thou give me, and thou shalt go quit?
By my troth, I've not one mite.
Then open penance, and thou art like.
By my troth, I slander no man.
Then come and seclude thyself as well as thou can.
What man is he that can me dismay? For I obtain all thing at my will. Who dare anything against me say? Whatsoever I do, be it good or ill. For if he do, he were better be still. I shall punish, be it right or wrong. For with my purse I can both save and hang. To repugn against me, he were better be still. I have a proper trull for my pastance. In my chamber I her keep, both night and day. My neighbours therewith take great grievance. Yet I keep her still, whoever say nay. Howbeit there is one, a poor caitiff, I hear say, hath me accused in the court spiritual, and it cost me £100, punish him I shall.
Open sin must have opened penitence. Godspeed, my master Abundance.
What knave art thou, with a very mischance that cometh in so homely?
Sir, I pray you be not angry. I am an officer of the spirituality. There is upon you a great slander. Ye keep another man's wife in your chamber, and live in great adowry.
What wretches doth so say by me?
It is openly known everywhere. Before my master I charge you to appear. Upon a book there shall ye swear whether it be so or no.
What is the best for me to do? Rather than I to the court will go, I had liever spend £20.
Sir, of such a way may be found to excuse you. What will ye then say?
Now, thereof heartily I thee pray.
Ye shall come home to my master's place, and say that ye be put up of malice. Thrust money in his hand apace, and so shall ye go quit away.
For my counsel gramercy, hold, here is 40 pence.
Come on, sir, I will do my diligence. Room, sir, avoidance, that this man may do his penitence.
Now have I my penance done.
Nay, thou shalt about once again.
The poverty and trouble that I endure, I cannot to you in few words express. If it should be unto God no displeasure, I would desire death my pain to release. Such is my penury and troublesome heaviness, that I could in no wise suffer it patiently, but that I trust to win heaven thereby.
What man art thou that maketh such lamentation?
Master, peace! I desire you of pardon. I am your servant, sometime called Prosperity.
How came you to this perplexity?
Colhazard, misrule, and false envy brought me to this distress.
I showed thee before plain express, then of my words thou hadst disdain.
Therefore now it is to me great pain.
What persons are those that did him accuse?
Sir, he is put up by suit of office.
Suit of office? Then it is so there have been creditable persons, 3 or 2, such articles to the judge did show. He ought therefore to have good respect, and to swear these persons upon a book. For love nay dread, they say, but true. For it is not lethal for a calet, a caitiff, or a knave against honest persons, such matters for to have, to put a man to open penance without due proof.
Sir, when I entered mine office this way, my oath to hearken about and hear, for backbiters, slanderers, and false jurors, schmishmachs, homicides, and great unsurers, bawds, advouters, fornicators, and excuhators, all such must do penance.
I know one such came never thereto.
Who is that?
His name is called Abundance, which hath done many a great offence, for he keepeth another man's wife. No manner of penance ye make him do, but redeemeth with money, and let him go. So in advoutery he still leadeth his life.
He made his purgation upon a book, or else redeemed with the silver hook.
Silver hook that I cannot deny. Sorry, silver hook that I deny, for it is a plain decree that open sin must do open punishment. There can be no such judgment that money shall stop the law.
Ha! Nay, there, stop and lay a straw. Where see ye any man a substance put to open penance, but punished by the purse? A poor man that hath naught to pay, he shall be punished, this ye see every day. But if he be obstinate and will not obey, anon they shall him curse.
Well, for thy saying another day thou shalt fare the worse.
Sir, I beseech ye comfort me with some solace.
Then thou art well punished for thy trespass. By thine uncensored and undiscreet operation have brought thee to all this tribulation. Stand up. With this vesture I shall thee renew.
Sir, thank you, and will do at your reformation, and for my time misspent, I'm sore ashamed.
If you do as you bid, you shall not be blamed. Forsake envy, and misrule with all their old peers. Be conversant with good men, goodness thereof will grow. Follow the saying of David, cum sanctus sanctus eris. For wicked men evermore wicked seed do sow. What cometh of evil company now thyself doth know. Print it well in thy memory, and do not it forget. Many a man doth decay for lack of good forward.
Sir, your sayings is full true. I have perceived it. And for the virtuous counsel that ye to me have give, I shall be your orator while I have a day to live.
Sovereigns, it may ye see proved before you all of this wanton world the great fragility, ever mutable of the turning as a ball. Now flood of riches, now ebb of poverty. What should men set by this world's vanity? Think on this lesson, and do it not forget. The gayest of all us is but worm's meat.
With the supportation of this noble audience, we have here showed this simple interlude. Beseeching you of your benevolence to take patience, it is but a mirror, vice to exclude. The maker hereof, his intent was good, no man to displease, old nor young. If any fault be therein, we desire you of pardon.
Let us all pray to that Lord, God, Lord of great magnificence, to send amongst us rest, peace, and unity. And Jesu preserve our sovereign Queen of preclair preeminence with all her nobles and consanguinity, and to send them grace to the issue to obtain after them to rule this most Christian realm. O good Lord, as thou art omnipotent, have regard unto my petition. Conserve this noble realm and all that are present of thy eternal deity, grant them all thy fruition. And from our mortal enemies be our protection. Jesu, as thou hast redeemed, bring us to the blessed, there as angels sing, Gloria in excelsis. Amen.
Amen. Say all, and thus we come to the end of Impatient Poverty, which rattled along pretty efficiently actually. There's always the danger with a morality player sort of sitting there going, yes, thank you very much for your morals. Not sure they wholly stand up. I really quite like the idea that Abundance sort of gets away with it by just bribing the judge, and Poverty is just left there to sort of throw a few truth bombs off, and I mean, it's a big question at the end. Is peace giving Poverty a decent coat, or is it just a sort of little handout coat? Poor Poverty has to sort of stagger away. There's a name change at the end back to Prosperity after the new vesture is given, so it suggests that, hey, you've been given prosperity back again. But yeah, that might not be true.
There's a name change in the text, but it's, I mean, there's a name change in the edition, but he's never called Prosperity again.
This is true. So yeah. Yeah, there's
maybe he's spiritually rich now instead of being,
I know, maybe it's like a pensioner's garb or something.
But yeah, I just love the fact bribery works. It's just this is clearly this Sumner is just quite happy to take anybody's coin. Thoughts in the room, by the way. Leap in.
Well, it seems that the money changing hands is a crucial part of the whole thing, whether it's from abundance to the Sumner or Colhazard taking everybody's cash off them. Yeah. So it's a morality play, but it's about the morals of money as much as any other spiritual morals or anything like that.
Yeah, because we've got Abundance basically doing a defense of capitalism speech earlier on, of just going, well, you may say there's all these evils, but hey, society wouldn't function without it. And is it wrong for me to earn money? I've worked hard for it. All of which arguments we see taken, shall we say, to an extreme level by bastards. Tom?
I think, as you rightly said, it rattled along at a fabulous pace and was beautifully acted. And that's only, with the delay that we have, because we're not all in the same room. I think if we were on the same stage, it would be really fabulous exchanges.
Yeah, because everyone is fighting their corner, and they're genuinely fighting their corner as well, which is what makes it. I always say these are not debate plays; they're always argument plays. It's, someone's having a proper Barney with someone.
Yeah, and good characters as well. It's sort of like, because I love the way that in those days, so to speak, the complete destruction of a person was sport, was gaiety. Let's just make him completely destitute. Let's just rip him off so much that he's impoverished and cold and hungry and lonely in the world.
Yeah, because he's the mark. He's the mark of these people. It's not a con in the traditional sense that they're explicitly taking the money from him. They're making him spend money on things and people. Yes, the inevitable visit to a sex worker, which is what happens in every single morality play.
And gambling. Don't forget the gambling.
And gambling. But it does move along pretty quickly in terms of it doesn't seem to have that much in the way of fat on it. It's got potential for music as well that we haven't really realised there. Both explicitly saying, like Misrule coming in singing, and the French lines that follow there. It does seem that is that actually lyrics to a song, or is that French to something? I don't know. We haven't translated it, so I don't actually know what
it just says, it just says my I'm singing this song to the love of St. James, isn't it? So it looked to me like it was a little catch.
Yeah.
So.
But we've also got the idea that peace turns up when everybody else is having a bit of a dance. They're going to have a French round. Let us both sing and dance.
Yeah, that's right.
And it makes sense that there's a lengthy dance thing that they're really in the flow of it, and then peace comes up and breaks the party.
Yeah, I actually wonder whether Misrule shouldn't be French for some reason.
Politics again. Blame the French. That one's been played.
be Spanish, can you?
No.
Right.
Well,
So
isn't he described as a rutterkin? Is it him or Colhazard who's described
Yes,
as a
yes.
rutterkin?
no, that's right.
You often see that as a term applied to Dutch immigrants, which is a whole other thing.
But he's speaking French. I mean, he speaks French, and then they have a French round, and
But
but then
straight to the fleur de lis as well. At his
yeah, that's right. There was quite a lot of Frenchy stuff. But then it could be Flanders, couldn't it? So it could be like a, I don't know.
It could, or they could simply be wrong about calling him a rutterkin, and he could, as you say, just be French.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Do we actually need a pair of stocks, or is that just a threat, or does that actually get enacted? I forget now.
Well, it doesn't say that they drag him to the stocks because he says, "Let me have a few more minutes," doesn't he? And then there's another sermon. A lot of fabulous sermonising there, Greg. You're clearly enjoying it.
Yeah, because then they very soon after face him out of the place, chase him out. With envy, I shall thrust him through the arse with my dagger. So at dagger point, it's with the suggestions that are coming in there, and by which point prosperity is well in with the bad people.
And that tells us that envy is the vice, right? Because the vice always has a dagger.
Well, and also has done the fake laugh crying bit earlier. That's another thing that clown/vice figures do. Is, oh, I'm so sad, I'm so sad. Are they gone? Okay, right. God, the price of onions. Anyway, that.
But that would be part. Forgive me, Eric. That would be part of the production. It is the physicality. To go along with the rattling words, there was beautifully enacted some great physicality as well, and the sheer joy that produces would add to the production.
Thank you. It was. Yeah, I mean, it's been a sort of thing with us. For anyone watching, if you want to see some totally fun physicality, do watch The Four Elements, in which some pretty insane stuff happens, to be honest. Available on our YouTube channel.
Yes, don't partake of the rose water. Was that Four Elements? Yeah.
Yeah,
Eric.
it was. I thought Liza was going to mention Mundus and infants, where where we just had running around. Anyway, yeah. I don't know. It was fun to be the vice. I was like, okay, is the vice going to get sort of comeuppance? Because that usually happens at some point. But no, envy continues to exist by the end of the play, but they just sort of get bored. It's like, poverty. What are we going to do now? How can we be envious of poverty?
And the fact that, because we've expanded from the original doubling. So the original doubling is for 4 people. So envy and the Sumner would have doubled as one. So there's also in the audience's mind, is envy and the Sumner sort of the same person? Because of course we've got people who are pretending to be other people and people who are doubled as other people. And there are people whose names just randomly change for no readily apparent reason, or at least perfectly logical reason. So it's we have this garment exchange thing, which is very we get a lot in plays of this ilk. So we have you are wearing the coat of prosperity or something along those lines. Eric.
What I don't get is how, I mean, envy is clearly a con person, but just kind of goes, but we're cousins, Conscience, we're cousins, we're related. I'm your cousin Charity. Don't you recognize me? And then sort of, as soon as he's gone, it's like, see ya. But no one seems to pick up on the fact that envy is dressed up as Charity or pretending to be Charity till...
I think it's a vice thing. Like, the vice always seems to have this magical property of winning the trust of people who really shouldn't trust him. But what is it? Charisma is clearly your high stat, and you roll a 10 on your persuade check every time.
Yeah, I don't think disguises in this kind of morality play are more than ever wafer thin. It's a conceit. Angela.
I was just going to say that actually that was the least successful dialogue in a way, because Conscience says, "You're not Charity. I know Charity," and then he pretends that Conscience has been strung up, and he says, "Well, I know that's not true because I am Conscience," he says, and yet he still addresses him as Charity later on in the dialogue. So I think that dialogue is kind of like a bit odd. It doesn't pursue, it doesn't pursue his logic properly.
We get this in a few other ones where someone comes up and says, "Hi, I'm Charity," or similar, and the other person says, "I'm not sure you are," and it says, "Oh no, don't worry, I'll in a couple of lines of dialogue, I will convince you." And it seems to be just a structural thing so that the audience isn't confused about who the vice is at that moment, because of course they could have come off stage, come back on again, and actually be Charity, and it's just it's a bit of a signpost, I think, at that point for the audience. Again, how deep do we want to go for levels of characterization here? I mean, actually, I want to go to the point a few people have said about the energy and the pace of it. Actually, there's several scenes where I'm sitting here thinking, actually, we really might need to pull them back and slow them down. And actually, especially towards the end, it's much more obvious towards the end. When things get dark and serious, Poverty's appearances and even Abundance's bribing of the Sumner and some of those things, to contrast with the big fight scenes and the big running around scenes that we have. I say scenes, there's only I've sort of vaguely said there's about 6 scenes to this play.
You could actually throw in a couple of women, because they often talk about having a woman, so you could have a troll. So there's room to have some business, isn't there, around that kind of thing?
It depends whether we're going for we stick with the original doubling logic, or whether we stick with but then we'd swap genders around if we have the spare bodies available. Then there's no particular reason why not. Okay, well, this is the thing when we run a play at pace. We suddenly find, it's finishing early. Any additional final thoughts in the room? Greg, do you have any final thoughts you want to throw in about this one? Thinking about coming back to it and playing around with it.
I definitely want to see. I enjoyed that one. I mean, it was nice because I like this when the doubling, we do the original doubling. Is I love the fact you get the good characters, and then you'll get a bad character thrown in. And Colhazard was so short, but he was a fabulous character to briefly have a play in. I want to explore it more. There's so much I think I missed with what I was saying. I was reading that completely without having read it previously. I only knew where I was speaking, and so much of Peace's first scenes were just fabulously well written. Also really intrigued by the last speeches. Trying to say that I know they're not part of the play, they're a sort of blessing on the audience. Which also brings me to, I'd love to look at how you can at least acknowledge that there would be an audience.
Yes,
with some of that.
Yeah, I've now marked in the script, effectively to the audience here. Here comes the moral.
There were times when I definitely felt like not so much for the good characters, because actually Peace and Conscience is difficult, but I can see some of the sorry to use the phrase, but immoral characters you could really play with the audience brilliantly. But those last speeches, I was curious, for example, by the fact that it says something about getting issue. Was it almost the last thing Peace says is something about the Queen having an issue, having children, which I thought was very interesting considering who was Queen at this point.
Oh yeah, but this actually so we think it was
1560, is it? Or am I?
It's printed in 1560. The dating range is from 54 to 58, somewhere between there.
All right. So she could easily have been, thinking she was pregnant.
Yeah. Anyway, yes, I enjoyed it. Good choice. It was nice to read this one.
And it's what was that other bit of business in the play? There was another bit of business that I suddenly remembered. There was some business and questions that I had, but I can't find them. It wasn't the stocks. It was something else. Anyway, I'll continue around the room. Tom, any final thoughts?
I think it would be interesting done with just 4 actors. I think that could have a real powerful effect. Just 4 actors with all that speech, I think would be very interesting. So yeah, a smaller room.
I'm sure we can find one. I'm sure we can. And actually going back to Greg's point about reading it cold, doing it with a bit more depth is, of course, we've got a few bits of Latin and other language stuff that we haven't translated yet or properly, which will help understanding and help get across what we're doing, and that's why we do these, and we keep coming back to build down understanding. Liza, any final thoughts?
Yes, that this play fascinates me. I remember having watched it back in 2020, and what's fascinating about it is that it falls very interestingly together with modern anti-capitalist thought. That, for example, one of the things that was brought out in the protests during the past summer was that so-called law enforcement isn't there to do justice to people; it's there to protect capital, and we discover that that the law is also at the service of capital. That there is in fact no way to force capital to comply with the law. That the only sting that can force them to do that, being conscience, the only threat that can force them to do that is the threat of losing their wealth. But the moral thing to do is also to give up their wealth, not to just give a teeny tiny bit to charity, but to make restitution to those they have wronged. And that's as true nowadays with labor theft, wage theft, and all sorts of unlawful advantages that even the government, even tax agencies, both in the UK and US, and probably other countries as well, but those are the 2 I know best. In the UK and the US, they don't go after wealthy tax evaders because wealthy tax evaders can hire lawyers and draw the process out. They go after poor tax evaders. So yeah, how do you force capital to comply with the law? Can capital by its nature act morally? These and many other questions.
Yeah. I have a different question about the heel size of the proposed proper wench, because her heel were not so broad as an inch, and I wondered whether that was sort of an early modern idea of narrowness of heel connection. Like today we have stilettos. I'm just wondering. Okay, an inch is not that narrow. I don't know what the inch is. I just bring that up in a complete tangent of just going. I just noticed a note of just going. Her heel were not so broad as an inch, unless the inch is referring to something else.
Well, the prostitutes in Liverpool used to put the price on the bottom of their shoe.
Ooh.
Sorry.
An interesting fact.
So I mean, yeah. In the days of the merchantmen coming ashore and going into bars and pubs and such. Yeah, the bottom of the shoe. So an inch might not be that much money. But is interesting factoid, yes. Okay.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting an answer, by the way. I'm just voicing it out loud for future me to remember. And future me will curse past me for not doing the work. Angela, any final thoughts?
Well, I've got nothing profound to say. I really enjoyed being Misrule. I thought it was great. And I thought that Desna was very good as Abundance. And it would have been fun to have been both of those things. Would have been quite interesting, wouldn't it? So, and how you would have played those two characters differently, because they are so much the same. So that was kind of interesting, you know. And perhaps if one was French, that would at least make it easy to distinguish between the two. But that did seem interesting. And I agree with you about the 1 inch heel. I did wonder if it had something to do, like it was like having dainty ankles or something. But yes, I'll have to pursue this and find out.
Yeah, I mean, in a sense, Abundance and Misrule, because Misrule suggests sort of having full of energy and being, creating chaos, whereas Abundance, it feels more self-satisfied and possibly, much more pompous and much more feeling very safe in their own way. So the energies between the two of those is quite interesting as well. Actually, just going back to Greg's Colhazard as well. I just can you sort out a Mohican for you? You know, sort of punk style, big, bright. You know, I just see that. I just see that for Colhazard. I don't know why. But just a thought. Just a thought. Desna, any final thoughts?
No, I'm imagining Greg in a Mohican now. No, I really enjoyed this for actually a lot of the reasons that Liza mentioned as well. I really see those parallels as well, and I'm glad I'm not the only person who spotted them. So that was good. The width of the troll's heel, I've got a theory, but I don't know if it's right or not. That this might be something to do with social class. So if you're a posher person, you would spend less time standing on your feet, and therefore your heel would be not as wide.
Okay. We put this out for the internet to judge us.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure. Angry letters to the editor will ensue.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
there is a thing about heels, early modern heels. For example, people talk about you. It's like, clean heels, showing a clean pair of heels, and like there's one, and I'm not sure whether that means that you've run away or that you're dangling from a rope. So there's some stuff going on around heels that I come across. So it would be interesting to, because I've never seen that before. Mind you, it is 16th century. I mean, God, 16th century. It's so long ago.
Oh, one last question as well, and I think we've covered some of the other morality, the kind of the surface morality that we can see in the play. But there's a lot of, I'm wondering if there's some kind of critique or not of the church at the time as well, because there's talk about the temporality and the commonality and the spirituality, and I think those are all sort of references to the relationship between people and the church. So I wonder, I mean, there's some lovely things said about the Queen at the end, but I wonder just how much is hidden critique there is potentially in there as well.
Yeah, and that's entirely possible. I mean, we are right in the middle of when morality plays are being used in that political religious way. And there are much more extreme examples than this, most of which don't survive because people got into serious trouble. So yeah, I think that's highly possible, actually. Yeah. Eric, I think is yes. Eric, final thoughts.
I just enjoyed being one of the pains of hell.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that MB was like, because obviously MB kind of has this sort of touch of Misrule, sort of, being the brother of Misrule or something, or sibling of Misrule. But then, like, at the beginning, I thought a lot of it was teasing, which is why I read it so lightly. But then, like, sort of trying to tease peace and, get it, pissing peace off, basically. But it seems that MV gets angry very, very quickly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably quite an important aspect to the idea of his personality as well, actually. So yeah, maybe there's something to play with for another time. This thing is just we're just skipping our way through this. We return to do it better, and then to do it better and hope that other people pick it up and do it even better as well, and tell us about it and show it to the world. Any other final thoughts before I close the session? Right, well, this was our second look, as it were, our take one. We hope we'll be able to return to do a take two sometime soon. All that remains to thank all these wonderful readers for all their wonderful reading. Thank you very much, everyone, and goodbye. Nay, let all be flesh.